going to have a 3rd and 7. What's the pep talk, Dwayne? What do you got for us?
The pep talk is, listen, you got one shot here. You got an opportunity. You got to scratch, claw, fight, bite, kick, do everything you can to make this happen. This is it. You got to get after it. You got to operate as if your back is to the wall. It's a back to the wall philosophy. And when your back is to the wall, every moment in life, you have one place to go, and that's forward. Let's go.
Oh, no! Big 6.
Well,
clearly,
good time to do
this.
this.
Not hear you, Dwayne. There's no doubt. Drink up. They couldn't hear Larry Fitzgerald. They couldn't hear Dwayne.
What's good, y'all? It's Coffee back again, and y'all hear that, man. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is out here not dropping the people's elbow or rock bottoms or none of that on motherfuckers. He's giving pep talks. Well, kind of. Not really, you know what I mean? But this is super wild card weekend. This just ain't wild card weekend, you know what I mean? We got Monday Night Football games jumping off in the playoffs for the first time ever. I swear I never seen this ish before, but this is crazy. We got a lot of content to break down, man. And before we get off into the Rams celebrating out there in Inglewood, I wonder if Bosco was invited. You know what I mean? Like, what? He's always talking about he's the truth. Everyone knows him on Queen Street. Everyone knows him in Inglewood. But Sco, are they inviting you to the Rams playoff celly, that celebration? I think not, man. You ain't, I don't know, man. Don't get me started on Mr. Scodification gang. That's a whole nother story, you know what I mean? But anyways, we're going to get to that Rams game. But first, we got to start off with this footage here. I know you see this like, what in the fuck is this all about? Why is Bruce Arians slapping the shit? Ish. I said shit and ish at the same time, guys. I'm tripping. I'm bugging. I know y'all stay getting at me in the comments like, Coffee, why you always on that ish talk? Because that's the type of ish I'm on. You know what I mean? But for real, like real talk, why is Bruce Arians teeing off on one of his players? But I mean, at the end of the day, guys, we know he's rocking a helmet. You know, when you see these little scuffles and skirmishes between different NFL players out there where they start throwing punches, it's like, yo, you know that is a metal helmet. Steel, whatever the fuck it's made out of, like, you gonna break your hand, my man. It's like, you know what I mean? Just don't get into the face mask and poke someone in the eye or something. That ain't right, you know what I mean? Players that have to start wearing eye guards or something if individuals start playing dirty like that. But side conversation, you guys remember back, like we're talking about throwing punches with helmets on. You guys remember back when Cortland Finnegan ripped the helmet off, who was it? Andre Johnson, I believe, on the Texans, and just started stealing off on him like, mop, pow, bing, bang. You know what I mean? Do y'all remember that? That ish was crazy, and it also has nothing to do with what we're talking about here. It was just something that jumped into, you know, came to mind when we're talking about what we're talking about here. But real talk, Bruce Arians is hooking off on one of his players, helmet or not. People saw this and was like, yo, what is this about? This ain't right. He shouldn't be treating his players like that. That's player abuse. You know what I mean? He's player hating. Why did he do that? And a Troy Aikman, who was commentating the game, was like, yo, why is Bruce Arians so mad? Well, if you guys see the footage, right, what was going on at this given time was you see this punt, right? And Jalen Reagor for the Eagles muffed the punt. And hit the comments, all the Eagles fans or just football fans out there in general. I see so much people just tapping in and like, yo, Reagor's a buster. This guy muffs every punt that comes his way. Like, how you going to do that in the playoffs? You're the worst. People really hate this guy. And quick side conversation, I wanted to see the Eagles pull this thing off. You know, as I always say, call me a hater. As a, you know, diehard member of Bills Mafia, fuck Tom Brady. You know, that's just how I feel. Like, I give him his props. I always got to put that out there as far as, you know, what he's done in football, all his accolades, accomplishments, trophies, records, all that ish, milestones he's hit. You can't deny the man that. But what I can do is say, yo, I'm a diehard Bills fan. He was a division rival of us for the longest time. For the longest time, Billy Joel voice, you feel me? And I don't like the motherfucker. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. But I wanted to see the Eagles knock Brady and the Buccaneers about the playoffs, but it wasn't happening. Donna, much love to Donna Stitz, loyal member of Team Coffee. And real quick, y'all, make sure if you're new over here to J Coffee Talk, you sub to the channel, hit that notification bell, but more importantly, join the discussion and tap in and chop it up with me on these different topics we're talking about here. Donna's an Eagles fan, though, and I'm sorry, Donna, that your Eagles were exited out of the playoffs super dumb, early, quick like that. But Donna is, she's still sticking around as far as for the playoffs and rooting for my Buffalo Bills, Much love, Donna. And, in a consolation prize, she did get to see the Cowboys eliminated from the playoffs by the Niners. So that's what's up, Donna. I feel you. It is what it is. We got to get our smile on one way or another. But back to what we're talking about here. Jalen Reagor muffed the punt, and you see there's a pile going on. And, the Buccaneers recover the ball. And Adams, number 26 here, the safety, started pulling Eagles players off the pile. And Bruce Arians was like, nah, my man, you're going to get us a penalty. I ain't having that. Red man voice. And that's why he started hooking off on him like that. He's like, yo, we're about to get good field position and all that, and I'm not having it. And there you go. There you have it. That's why Arians did that. He's talking about, I'm sick of seeing dumb penalties. Like, to him, that was idiotic what Adams was doing, for show penalty. So he nipped it in the butt right then and there. Jump in the comments, guys, and let me know what y'all think about that. When you saw this, did it kind of take you back? Like, yo, is he slapping his players around? That's player abuse. He's a player hater. And then now when you hear this, are you like, oh, okay, I get it? Or are you still like, fuck that, I ain't feeling that? Let me know in them comments. But a quick fun fact before we move on from this Eagles-Buccaneers matchup, which wasn't much of a matchup. Yo, the Buccaneers were up like 21-0. We're not talking about how many points they had unanswered before the Eagles got on the board. We're talking about before they got a first down. That's rough, man. And to be honest with you, it got into garbage time points real early for the Eagles, and prevent defenses and all that. And I think that's why they got on the board the way they did. I'm sorry, y'all. I really wanted to see the Eagles win. Maybe the Niners will be able to knock them off in the divisional round. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We know they're most definitely pumped up about getting this W against the Cowboys. I made a video on that yesterday. I'll leave a link to that video in the comments if y'all want to go check that thing out and peep what's going on over there with my commentary regarding all that. Cowboys fans are sick as fuck, but that's good momentum the Niners got, pulling off that W coming into this matchup with Brady and the Buccaneers. We'll have to see how that shakes and moves. But what I wanted to ask y'all real quick before we get into the main event, so to speak, figuratively and literally when we're talking about this LA Rams game. But with the Niners, man, when I posted in my video yesterday, I took notice, and I don't know how I never peeped this before. Going back in the video footage back to 2017, there's footage of this Boombox that I saw when they were coming out the locker room into the tunnel yesterday. They had the Boombox. We're seeing different variations of it. It used to be blue and black. Now it's, Niner colors and all that. This thing is crazy. This thing looks like Radio Raheem on steroids. R.I.P. Radio Raheem. Do the right thing. That's fucked up, man. I get why they burnt down Sales Pizzeria. It just goes down like that sometimes. You got to make a statement, man. R.I.P. Radio Raheem. But real talk, all the Niners fans out there, Jay Millie, anyone who sees this video, what in the fuck is good with this Boombox? I just want to know the origins of it, where it came from. How did I miss this? I don't know how I missed that. They're How many D batteries does that thing take? But like I said, Carlos Hyde is tapping in about it back in 2017. Like, yeah, the Boombox. Respect the Boombox. But getting into talking about this Rams game, okay, you heard that little pep talk from The Rock. That wasn't a real pep talk. That was during the Manning cast. The Manning cast is dope. They got to keep this around. I hope 5-10 years from now, the Manning cast is still a thing when it comes to Monday Night Football. Like, the Manning cast is dope. And shout out to Eli and Peyton for having Josh Allen on there earlier in the season, or not that long ago. I think it was like a month and a half ago, maybe longer. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping or not. But anyways, The Rock was on there. They were cutting it up, having a little bit of comedy and all that. Like, the pep talk, the basis of that was The Rock. Like, they were like, yo, they're in this situation, down 14-0, backed up in their own end zone. What do you do? And he's like, you fight. And then boom, Kyler Murray throws that interception. And The Rock responded to that by saying, perfect time to take a shot, chugging out the bottle. The Rock ain't really drinking liquor like that. This guy works out 15 times a day and, no carbs and all protein and all that. So he was just having fun catching wreck with Eli and Peyton, the Manning boys. But man, this game was a blowout. Like, honestly, the Arizona Cardinals look pathetic. They got just demolished, destroyed. They got out-muscled. They really didn't even look like they deserved them to be in the playoffs. Comment and let me know if y'all agree with that statement. OBJ had a nice trick play. Oh, but real quick, man, is this Arizona's thing? Dating back to when Bruce Arians was there, they stay doing this where they, are tearing it up through the regular season, and then come playoffs, they just ish the bed every single time. But anyways, like I was saying, OBJ had a nice trick play where he threw a bomb to running back Cam Akers. I think that was like a 40-yard catch and run, or I guess not really. Yeah, it was kind of a catch and run, but I think that picked up like 40. You know what I'm saying? 40 water. OBJ and Matthew Stafford get their first playoff wins, respectively. That's dope, man. Yo, if it feels crazy to hear that that's Matthew Stafford's first playoff win. Like, really? Like him, Megatron, everything that ever happened, and Stafford is just getting his first playoff win in Inglewood and celebrating without Bosco 100. That blows my mind, Cooper Kupp had a touchdown grab. He also, had 61 receiving yards off 5 receptions. OBJ also had himself a TD, 54 yards on 4 receptions. Stafford puts up nice numbers, but not even 13 of 17, 200 something yards, 2 touchdowns through the air and 1 rushing touchdown. You see that play where it was the QB sneak there. They had to review that. They were talking about the defense pulled him up out of the end zone, but he was in there for show. Von Miller got a sack. He was all over Kyler Murray. And listen, that pick 6 that we saw where The Rock was joking around, giving his, Fugazi pretend pep talk. Like, that's the type of ish Kyler Murray's doing in the playoffs. That just looked sorrowful. It looked like a joke. I can't believe that. This is a guy everyone wanted to see get MVP honors. And don't get me wrong, he had an amazing season. But when you're doing ish like that in the playoffs, when it's clutch, when everything's on the line, that's what you do. It kind of nullifies a lot of the success you had. I'm just saying, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm just a little mad that they took my bro Josh Allen out of the MVP talk. Maybe, I don't know. But I don't know. This game was a blowout. LA Rams just totally embarrassed the Cardinals. And that'll conclude this video. Hit the comments. Let me know your thoughts on everything we touched on. The funny pep talk. Yo, Larry Fitzgerald was in the building too, and he couldn't motivate them to do anything neither. You know what I mean? And don't forget, we got Bruce Arians slapping Adams like, pow, you know what I mean? Mop, stealing off on Adams. And the Niners Boombox, the mystery, the legend of the Niners Boombox. Let's talk about it all in the comments below. I thank y'all for watching. This has been another episode of Coffee. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. We talk music, news, sports, and more over here. And I'm gone.